Welcome back, everyone. So guess what? If you're bidding contracts with the government, state, local, federal government, you're in the right place for this video. You're bidding contracts, even commercial contracts, residential contracts. This will benefit you today. So here's my question for you. Do you struggle with hearing crickets after you submitted a bid and then you're left wondering, why didn't I win that bid, right? Because you hear nothing back and you have no clue as to why you didn't win the bid. You're thinking like, I know my numbers were on point, right? And you have no clue. Well, if that's you, you're in the right place, because by the end of this video, you're going to have a fresh perspective, right? When going through a bid and deciding really whether to bid on a project or not. I know what I was going to say. And your bid process. I had a brain fart. And your bid process. So here's the thing. So you're going to lead with 3 ways to actually troubleshoot a lost bid, so that next time as you're bidding, right, you can start to increase your win ratio. Are you ready for this? Cool. All right, awesome. So those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Felicia Streeter. I work with small business owners and contractors just like you. And I help you guys with getting into contracting with the government, figuring out how to really increase your bottom line profits with federal contracting. So federal contracting, state and local government contracting, okay? That's what I do for you guys. And for those of you that don't know, I do have a signature program I've created on contracting with the government. Definitely, if you want to check it out, I'll put the link below. Contractor's Edge Bootcamp. All right, cool. So let's dive into the content. Are you ready for the pitfalls? Got your pencil and paper down? Because you need to troubleshoot that last bid, okay? Here's the first thing. And this one we don't think about often, but it's really, really important. Vendor selection. I'm talking about whether you're doing construction, which means you're bringing in materials. For example, right? If you're doing IT, you have cabling, and I'm sure there's different manufacturers that produce the cabling, right? Maybe you do professional training and development, and there's a particular software that you use, right? Is it compatible with what your customer is using? Maybe they're Apple, well, probably not the government. They may be, Windows or whatever, and your Apple and the software doesn't convert between the two, right? So those are just some examples of things that you may get from a vendor to help you facilitate delivering a project that could hinder you in winning a bid. So we're talking about the vendor selection. Another thing is teaming with the wrong vendor. So now I'm talking about it could be another company that is going to supply materials or something like that. And that might not be a good fit for your customer, right? This vendor, like a manufacturer, this vendor, like another company, say they were disbarred from working with the government. So if you have them in your bid, that's going to definitely be a no-go, right? What about if their delivery time does not work in conjunction with the project to make sure you get the project done in the time that your customer wants you to? That's another showstopper, right? And then also it could be the type of warranty provided. So what I'm talking about here is on some projects, depending on what you're providing, there may be some type of warranty that the government wants attached to your work or the material or something like that. What does that warranty look like? Or even do they offer a warranty, right? So these are just some of the things you need to think about when you're selecting your vendors, right? And including them in your bid submission or proposal submission, okay? Now, here's the solution to this. Remember I said you wanted pencil and paper. You should be writing this down. The solution to this is, number one, to have multiple vendors with various pricing, of course, right? And delivery times. Faster the better, usually is the key. The lower the price, the better, that kind of thing. But you want to make sure you have multiple vendors so that if one doesn't work, you have others and you already have the information like pricing, delivery time frames, and what type of warranty they have. Okay. The second one is your finances. Most people don't want to talk about their finances, but let me tell you, when you get into government contracting, they're going to be all up in your business. Meaning a lot of times you have to produce financial statements. So that, on a side note, here's a little sugar for a dime. If you're not keeping books for your business, you need to start doing that. QuickBooks Online is a great place to start. If you need the link, you can always reach out and ask me. But back to the finances. So having a lack of financial stability. Your financial statements will show that. If you don't have financial statements, that's even a bigger clue because you're not tracking anything. Okay? Financials don't show your ability to cash flow the project. So we can look at your financial statements and be able to tell if you'll have the cash flow to start on the project until you receive or start receiving payments from the government. Okay? So that's the other thing. The third thing is good financial management. So that goes back to, do you even keep books? And what do they look like? Are they up to date? And how you're spending your money. So all of that entails financial stuff. Now, the solution to this is you should already have things in place for any deficiencies that you may have. So, for example, if you can't cash flow the project on your own, then you should already have some loans or a factoring company or something like that in place to step up and fund you once the project is awarded. I'm not saying going to get the loan or the funding prior to, because if you don't win the project, then you don't need it. But you do want to have that kind of, okay, if you win this project, then we'll give you XYZ amount of dollars for this amount of time at this rate, that kind of thing. You want to know what all that entails, okay? The third thing, and I need to do another video on this because people always ask about this past performance and how will the government know? So that's another video for another time. But the third thing is experience. So I'm talking about the lack of experience that you may have overall in your business. Meaning like you're just starting out and you want somebody to give you a 6 or 7 figure contract. Not going to happen likely because you don't have any experience. Another thing is your lack of experience could be that you haven't done this particular type of project. So for example, maybe you've done modular buildings, but you haven't done complete design build type projects. Those are two totally different things. Dollar values are different. The length of time it'll take to deliver is different. Another thing is maybe you've done, so professional training and development. Maybe you've done, let's see, a one-day workshop, right? But now they want you to build out a whole curriculum, or they want you to do a 3-day workshop. Well, 3 days, whole curriculum, that's a whole bunch more material, right? And things like that. And you may not have that amount of material, or you may not know how to put that together, but you do know how to do, you know, a 1-day type workshop on one very specific topic, something like that. So those are the type of things. Another thing, if you're doing medical billing and coding, right? Maybe you've worked with, and I don't know the ins and outs of this one, but say maybe you've worked with a lot of different insurance companies, but you haven't worked with Medicaid and they bill differently or something like that, and the coding is different. So those could be things that they look at, okay? So here's the solution for lack of experience and having experience be an issue for you. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say on the experience too is that you have no business experience at all, like you're just starting out from scratch, okay? Now that is something we can overcome that, and I show my clients how to do that, but that's a whole different strategy, okay? So, but here generally, if you don't have any business experience, or you lack business experience in a particular area, or you lack management experience, on managing the project. Maybe you don't have a PM, or you have no PM experience yourself, or the owner has no PM experience or managing projects, because that's a whole nother ball game as well. Okay, those things will hinder you, and I like to call them deficiencies, but we can always overcome deficiencies once we reveal what they are, but you do have to overcome them. So here's the solution for overcoming the deficiency in experience. Excuse me. So it's all about the strategy creation and teaming arrangements, which both, I'm getting tongue-tied, I need some water, which both are covered inside my Contractor's Edge boot camp. Okay, so I talk about it in there. Hold on one second. Off camera, water. Okay, so both are covered inside the Contractor's Edge boot camp. And I'll put the link below, of course, for you. So here's the thing I want you to really think about. Now, of course, I just shared 3 different areas where it could be a pitfall for you in losing a contract with the government, but then also gave you some solutions to overcome those deficiencies, right? So you need to go back, look at your bids that you already have, maybe the last 2 or 3, and kind of comb through them and see, and look at it from a different perspective, not your own, and see if you were the contracting officer, if you were that prime contractor looking for a subcontractor, would you give them that contract? And then why not? Those deficiencies will start to reveal themselves. And then you have to start thinking about how you're going to fix them. Okay? Now, once you start learning what your own pitfalls are, your deficiencies are, and you start working on them, then you can start saving time and saving money, because now you can look at a bid prior to bidding it and say whether it's a go or no go. Okay? And then you won't be bidding on things that you have no shot at winning. Okay? We're all about saving time and making more money and having a whole lot of fun along the way. And bidding a bunch of bids that you have no shot at winning, and then you don't win them, right? That's the reality. That's not fun. Nor are you making money, and you're wasting a lot of time. So here's what I want you to do. I already told you. Go back, look at your last 2 to 3 bids, and then match it up to what we talked about here today. What changes can you make prior to your next bid? All right? So thank you guys for joining me, but here's what I want to invite you to do. If you don't have a bid process, or maybe you have a bid process, but it's not working as effectively as you would like for it to do for you in your business, which means you're not winning any, or you're not winning them at the ratio you'd like, then I do want to invite you to come check out the Contractor's Edge Bootcamp. It's all about bidding contracts, okay? It's over at FeliciaStreeter.com/CEB for Contractor's Edge Bootcamp. And then, hey, have a peace of mind knowing that you're about to learn something different and do something different to increase your rate and ratio of bidding and winning. All right? So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Also, make sure you like this video. And if you know someone that's bidding contracts, they're in government contracting at all, maybe you stumbled here and it's not you, but it's your spouse, friend, whoever, associate, share this video. All right? Until next time, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll talk real soon. Bye for now.